How's it going? Welcome to Reef Tank Ramble. In this video, I'm just going to kind of go on and ramble about my reef tank. Everything that's going right, everything that's going wrong, things that I'm struggling with, things that I feel like I'm on top of. I'm going to go ahead and start doing this reef tank ramble every time that I have to do maintenance for my tank. Now, obviously, it's been quite a while since I've done a reef tank update. I haven't done maintenance or recorded it in a while. So hopefully this will kind of just catch some people up, catch me up. And then it'll continue with the original point of this channel, which is just to document the growth and upgrades of my tanks. Now, let's go ahead and talk about my reef tank. Let's go ahead and start rambling about it. It's been about 3 weeks since I've done a water change, not for reasons that are too peculiar. Not because I was lazy or I was testing anything out. I was just didn't really get to it. So I ended up just using all of my RO water for top off for about 3 weeks. And I noticed that my corals weren't too happy. They started to retract a little bit around the base. And I obviously don't like that, because the more extended around the base of the coral they are, then obviously the more extended and more fluffy your corals look. And we all want long, flowy corals. So once I saw the corals were going ahead and retracting and they were doing all their bad, angry coral stuff, I decided to do a water change, and I'm pretty sure that was the problem. 3 weeks of no water change and trying to live off of all of her reef for the corals, it wasn't really working out. I think I was starving them of the things that they need. But now that they've gotten some of the salts in, you can notice some immediate difference. They started expanding up right away, looking way better. Now, one of the things that I find quite funny with my water change, and I just want to bring this up, is that my mixer or my power head that I've been using to mix my salt water doesn't work very well. So whenever I try to get it to work, I just have to smack it against the wall until it starts, being a power head. Getting into the tank issues and stuff like that, as far as green hair algae, the green hair algae is nearly gone. Turning off the white lights and leaving it with only the blue lights really helped out with that situation. I did that for about 2 weeks. And then I eventually realized that I was starving the corals of light. My light wasn't strong enough just to run the blue spectrum. Once I realized that, I had to turn on the full lights. Thankfully, most of the problem was already gone. Now, as a result of me turning down these lights, I lost my digitata, my fire red digitata. It was doing great. It was growing fine. And then I turned the lights off for a while. And, like the other corals, it struggled for a little bit with less light. And for some reason, it never bounced back. It just continued to get worse. I think it got stung by one of my frog spawns. And hey, that's just how it is, especially when you're placing corals just too damn close to each other. You can see I have a couple corals just laying on the sand bed. Those over time have been knocked over by my crab. My crab loves to just go around, knock over everything. So anything that's on the sand bed, he'll lift it up. I don't know why. Maybe he thinks that there's some goodies under there. It's like a kid flipping rocks looking for worms. He just always has to flip the frag plug. As I get this water change going, I feel some kind of satisfaction. It has been 3 weeks. It has been a while. I have been trying to not vacuum my sand bed as much as I can. I love the microfauna and everything that has been growing inside of it. If you have fed your tank, watch the food fall to the bottom and see if anything grabs it. And I'm being serious. I have found recently that if I feed the tank and if the food somehow gets past the tank, it will fall to the corner of the rockwork and something will grab it and pull it into the rockwork. It's the microfauna. They are insane. They're super tiny and they're hilariously fun to watch. I can't believe that I would be sitting there watching little bugs move around in my tank. So as per the maintenance schedule, I like to just take out all of my hardware, all of my equipment, just give it a good old rinse in the tank water. I used to do it in the sink, but the less risks you take, the better off you're going to be. So I just started doing it in tank water. I'm really just trying to get off all the algae. I'm not worried too much about the cyano or any calcium deposits. I do pop it open real quick just to take a look at the propeller. But I didn't find any issues. Everything was looking good, and it wasn't even that dirty around this time. I've gotten rid of a lot of my green hair algae issues, so it would be kind of alarming if I still had a lot of it building up in the power head. You can see my filter is absolutely nasty. It's covered in salt. It's kind of gross. Like I said, I haven't cleaned it in quite a while, so let's go ahead and get that going. And I just wanted to pull off all the gunk. Not all of the gunk, but the stuff that wasn't visually appealing to me. In the end, it is a beneficial filter. I do need that nasty stuff in there. And then this is just a little build-up on how my filter is built. So you can see me struggling trying to put it in there because, you know, filming and trying not to drop my phone in the bucket's pretty tough. But you got that, and then to be honest, I forgot I had the blue pad in there, so I put a bunch of filter floss, and it's still working. But then there goes the Foss Bond. I'm using Foss Bond instead of Foss Guard. It's a little stronger, and the beneficial bacteria. All rinsed off in tank water, of course, because the sink would just fucking ruin it. After we got all that back in the filter, we were just about ready to go. I stood up the corals again, and things were looking better. I can't say that they were looking great. You know, this coral definitely caught my eye, but the salinity was testing well, and that meant that it was time to add the water, and hopefully, you know, after a couple days we see some good results. I gotta give the water a last good little shake, and now all the water's in. Now I'll go ahead and I'll do a little recording in a couple days just to see how the corals are opening up and see if they look a little better. But as far as right now, that's going to be about it. Done the water change, and all the corals are looking better already. They're starting to expand, and that's way better than retracting. This torch coral definitely got huge too. I've never seen him that big. Alright, so it has been a couple days. It has been about 4 days when I'm recording this video of when I did the water change. And you can see the corals are much happier. Torch corals will open. I moved my zoas over here, a little bit of, I think they're pallies. But you can see that all the corals are doing nice. You know, the water change is doing what water changes do, making the parameters a little better. Everything a little more natural for the coral environment. I am going to keep this quick. I did record this about 3 days ago, meaning that it's already time for the next water change. It's time to make another video. I've also went ahead and I moved around all of the corals in the tank. I re-glued them all back to the rockwork, and I even got a new coral. That is all going to be in the next upcoming video. I would try and squeeze it into this one, but already being at, you know, the point in the video that we are, I think it's better just to save it for the next video. If you're interested in seeing that, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that good jazz. And without further ado, let's talk about a couple of my plans with the reef tank. So as you may know, I ran into an ick problem a few months ago, and it is finally time to start looking at new fish again. I'm definitely thinking of getting 2 more clownfish, and then I'm thinking of getting maybe a fairy wrasse, maybe a cleaner wrasse, a 6-line wrasse. One of the wrasse types I'm definitely looking into. If you have any other recommendations, if you want me to try and look into maybe damsels or, you know, angelfish or things like that, no more tanks, definitely no more tanks. But if you have any suggestions, anything you would like to see in the tank, even other kinds of corals, let me know. Other kinds of equipment, any kind of feedback. That's going to be about it for this video. As you can see, the reef tank is doing well. The tank's doing good. It's only up from here. We're finally a little more stable. And with stability comes comfort. I'm looking into adding new things to the tank. New corals, new equipment, new absolutely anything. If you have anything you recommend, anything you don't recommend, a comment is always welcome, good or bad. As always, thank you for clicking on this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day.